Welcome back once again to another Sacred Mountain battle report. Today we're playing the second battle of Gohrde. This took place in Germany around 1813, September 1813. We played in March 31st, 2023 with Jason, John, Grover, Byron, and Joe. In late September 1813, Napoleon orders Marshal Davout to resume his attempt to open lines of communications from Hamburg to Magdeburg and Upper Saxony. As you may recall, Davout was rebuffed in his first attempt at the Battle of Gohrde, which we fought in December of 2022. Davout is being reinforced by 100 points for his second attempt. The Prussians have been called away, but Russians and English King's German legions reinforcements have arrived. The French have dual objectives. Number 1, open the lines of communication, and number 2, eliminate sufficient English and King's German Legion forces and or Russian formations to cause them to reevaluate their commitment to seizing the economic center of Hamburg, previously occupied but then abandoned by the Danes in the face of Davout's advance. Because the real source of supply for both the French and the Allies is outside the area of the map board, there will be no on-board supply base for either side. Rather, each French commander gets 2 additional momentums, and each Allied commander receives 3 additional momentums, a total of 6 per side. Total time on the chess clock will again be 2 hours for the 3 French generals. To reflect their larger forces being commanded by the 2 Allied generals, they have a total of 2.5 hours. The French time advantage per 100 points of army reflects their more efficient staff work and benefit of all commanders in speaking French, whereas the Allied staffs are not as efficient. The Russians probably don't bother to learn English, and the Russians historically ignore or fall asleep during joint command meetings anyway. Advanced rules used will include huzzah and choose your own general specialty intervention and aides de camp. There are no special visibility rules. French commanders 200 points per side plus 5%, which is 10 points fudge factor. Allied commanders 300 points plus 5% or 15% or 15 point fudge factor. No guard formations are allowed for either army. Victory points 1 per unit destroyed plus potentially terrain points. And for this game, our terrain points include within 4 base widths of the middle of either of the eastern roads. Initial setup includes Allies set up first, then the French, allowing the French an opportunity to overload one side of the table and overwhelm one Allied army, which they did, no spoilers. There will be asymmetrical victory points, i.e. the French LOC map exit may be worth 2 victory points to the French, but only 1 victory point to the Allies. Thanks for tuning in. Alright, this is first turn skirmish, which we won mainly due to my guys all being online and having thrown 3 skirmish dice. That's the British line right there. These are all Russians, all in march order, not giving us any skirmish dice. Joe, you're killing me here, bro. And the Russians got to use a special rule of prepared earthworks too that I didn't go over. Joe didn't write about in the preparatory portion. This is the French side. They are pretty much all in mass, so they're getting all their skirmish dice throughout the game. They're right. The center French took mainly artillery and took the artillerist as their general. There's General Ney standing in for Davout, taking over for everybody. I should mention that all that area around the river is swampland. This is turn 2 skirmish. You see my British kind of lined up to try to pour some fire into these Bavarians and French center that are going to be marching through the swamps. Start out with some bombardment here into the French using the rockets. I've just not had good luck with artillery. I even took the artillerist general trait, re-rolling, and just didn't do much. Now, it was pointed out near the end of the game that my single 300 point English corps was taking the brunt, like basically 600 points of 3 opponents, and my erstwhile colleague there was only taking 20 points or so, 20 or 40 points. So here's the best I can do. I've got trying to protect my own flanks here. Got the artillerist Frenchman bombarding into me, seeing right over that swamp. And still I've just stepped back so I could try to get some of the better English volleys into him. Joe protecting his flanks with his cavalry here, the Russians, and here's turn 3 skirmish. I was getting lots of flank charges. Nice belly button shot with John. Let's see. Oh yeah, these are the French pouring in to my line. Got the first of many scoops of the British. These are all British hits on the French line. You can see this cavalry melee starting to erupt, and then definitely a French and British line. This is quite the spectacle of battle that we've got going on here. I love these flybys. I'll try to do more of these in my future videos because it just turned out so cool. And that's into the Russians. So we're still, I believe, in turn 3. Some shots of the bombardment going into my guys. Here we've got a double charge coming off onto the French, which looks like I scooped one of their cavalry units, but I was trying to avoid getting flanked myself. And here they are replying. I believe they've already destroyed several, maybe 2 British battalions at this point. And this is coming in from the Russian side, a flyby. Still, just quite the spectacle. Really enjoy it. This is a turn 4 skirmish, I think, which we lost. We lost all the skirmish phases after the first one. And I'm really trying my best to hold the line over here and not expose flanks. And looks like, oh yeah. So they're those my guys limbered up using a emergency formation change, and they were able to escape off the battlefield, rolling 2 dice rather than 1 dice from all those oncoming infantry. These guys didn't escape. They have a strength of 2. They aren't in a poor formation. Here's some, look at those beautiful shoes I've got. Man, that's good looking. So here we got some melee coming. The French outnumber me. They get a bonus. Oh, that's the Russians. They're about to have to bounce back after a superior Russian rolling. That's the British. What am I thinking? Those are the British fighting the French right there. And that was superior British rolling, of course. Now the plan was to have the Russians step forward. I did get a disruption there. I'm trying to look at it through my phone. Still no pencil lead. And here is the flank charge. This, like, we had to stop upside down. We had to stop the game for like an hour while we debated on what is and what is not a flank charge. The French seemed to have a different definition of flank charges when I was charging versus when they were charging, which I thought was pretty interesting. Or at least it didn't happen. Like, they didn't have an objection to flank charging until I was able to flank charge them, which yeah. But we've got it figured out now, and we're all friends still. And I'm sure that black eye that I gave Jason will heal in the next couple of days. Got some huzzah tokens spread out on some British, but these British are chewed up. They are seriously chewed up. I was able to rally well. These guys rally on 3-ups even when they're close to the enemy because they have that white flag token on their cards. That means they're resilient and can rally close to the enemy. Here we are getting hits from, looks like we're getting hits from a volley fire there. And I tried to, well, here we are moving back around again. Oh, I'm going for some food. You gotta watch out for me. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going for food right here, for sure. Nom, 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 nom. Waka, 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 waka. Back to the dog. I will cut this out. Okay, And back to the battle. I was trying to reform my British back into mass and hoping that the Russians would be able to charge through, but the Russians just weren't close enough. That I was getting outflanked. That's an example of a flank charge that Jason got on me, where that would put me at a -4 of my total strength. So I believe that was 7. That was probably a fresh troop, and they got flank charge down to a 3 with a roll of a 1. And looks like Joe even got flanked there. And we're reworking the flanks. Mustafa's example is great, but I think we came up with a better solution. I think, at least for our games, just for house rules. With regards to the flanks, here's another nice flyby of the French and British lines. The French really have already crossed the swamp. They're moving. We've pretty much lost that intersection. The Russians still control this upper eastern road that exits on our battlefield side, and those are the objectives that we're trying to hold, but you can see that the British are really collapsing. Next skirmish phase, Jason's having a great time. Yeah, see, he hasn't gotten the black eye yet, so it's just that comes later, I guess. This is, see, here's they're having a great time. They're talking about what brilliant generals they are. Yep, look at them. They're just so happy with themselves. And I would let Jason speak, but it's just, he's got the most annoying voice. It's just like he just keeps talking and talking and talking. And then subsequently got a black eye. That's the way I roll. Look at him. Look how happy he is. All right, back to the game. So the French are really outflanking the British over here near the lower road. And I have no idea what I'm talking about here. I tried to. I was able to keep the general on the table, and I'm saying. Oh, I have 3 British infantry units left. This is the last turn. I'm over it. Yeah, because here he comes charging in again. One of the British units is flanked there. That upper one is flanked. So he'll be at 5 -4, so he'll go to a 1. Oh, I rolled a 6 on that guy. I rolled a 6 on that guy. Dang it. Yeah. So total of 6 really on that far British unit rather than 10. And that's a tie there. And I mean, those all should be scooped with that roll. My last British artillery piece on the table. 0 hits with the artillerist. It's just really, 300 points of British elites cannot hold these guys back. Here the British came back in from reserve just with a rocket battery and some horse guns. Okay, Jason, this is right when I just, God, look at that, just pow, right in the kisser. Oh gosh. Okay, so he is really moving in. We just played this last turn out because we're good sports. And this is pretty much game at this point. I've already relimbered my cavalry, and I believe I was cruising towards the refrigerator almost at this point. I'll give you some color commentary from Jason.
Theoretically, we can capture that crossroads on this turn.
Is it not captured already?
Really, you think we would argue with you about that?
There. You have your cannons there, we can't capture it.
Okay, send out your best 4 guys. We'll arm wrestle to see if we think you can get that crossroads.
I don't know, you might be able to assault me, but if I repulse you, then
You do repulse me.
I know that.
It's conceivable that we could get a guy alive within 4, but that doesn't change my opinion. That
So you see where that line is? Right there? My line at the base of the hill.
Oh, is that
4
it?
base Swiss.
I've got to dislodge
You
them.
have to push them back.
Can I use my cuirassier?
Which you didn't bring?
If you get them close enough in one turn, go for it.
No, I think it's a fair statement that you guys are winning the game. And by definition, when the game ends, if you're still winning, then you're winning. I think you're winning.
So are we going to call it a win?
Argue with them?
I think that's a clear win for the for the French.
We're supposed to get victory points from the roads, which we don't hold either.
No, you're going to hold.
You're gonna hold the roads.
You're going to hold that road. This road we can hold until turn 8.
And my dead pile is gigantic.
Yeah, and each eliminated unit is worth 1 victory point.
Yeah. So how many dead units do you have? I didn't have that many until.
1, 2, 3,
You killed by
4,
yourself.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 dead units, not including the cannons that are about to die, which I salute.
And I have 3.
You'll probably get away.
Hmm?
You'll probably get away, to be honest with you.
Get away? They might get away.
That's not a big deal.
You have 3 dead units. Just 3.
He only has 1.
You have 1 dead
I'm just
unit.
trying to keep up.
I'm sitting pretty on 7.
Oh no, I have 2. I have 2 things. One of my cavalry destroyers.
We learned math from Joe.
Yeah.
What's that?
I went to Weed High School.
Because I have 1. Oh no, maybe I have 2. I got 2 units.
It's on video. You know, it's captured on video. Am I correcting myself? Okay, well, you killed more units before you get points for the road. The near as I can see, you get 16 points for dead enemies, and we get 12. Plus, you clearly get 3 points for that road by the time we finish the game.
I think it's 12.
And we don't get any points for our road.
7, 2, 3.
Oh,
Remember, he couldn't count. I got 3.
Pardon, 4 dead?
No, I have 2.
Okay. What's 3?
Yes.
Weed High School.
Weed High School.
wait a
See,
Because he started, he says I have 1, then he's.
I got 2 dead
Then he
units.
goes, oh, you actually got 2.
Well,
That was a good game.
It was a good game.
well, let's go back before we congratulate ourselves for having a good game.
At least someone wants to throw water on the fire.
Yeah, no, while it's fresh in your mind, your disappointments, and this is where we make note of the savage criticism of what was wrong with the scenario, in terms of my fine-tuning scenarios.
Okay.
The
so-
scenario was fine, I thought.
Well, here's what I thought when I first saw it. I looked at your little fortress up on the hill with your everything, and I says, okay, so swamps, water,
It's
swamps,
a castle in the mountain.
coming up a hill with earthworks on top of the hill. There is no way I'm putting anything in front of that. Against Russian cannons, there's no way, Jose.
That's not a scenario criticism. That's just, you just took one look at it.
That's
and go,
a strategic
yeah, that's like
decision.
you took one look at it and said, I think we need to go fight where it's open.
Okay, but here's the deal. If I had to fight this again, I would do the same exact thing. There's no way in hell.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it's not a.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in
It's
to
just
another
a
Sacred
strategic-
Mountain Battle Report. That's about it. I apologize for the lazy editing and lazy footage. The next battle report, I will make a point of being very meticulous about the voice editing, and I'll take out all the uhs and the, and I'll get the turn sequence correct, and I'll try to be a little bit more meticulous about making sure that the boys show me their moves as well. All right, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in to another Sacred Mountain Battle Report. And Nancy, thanks for the yarn.